Good morning, everyone. Welcome to church on such a beautiful Sunday morning. So grateful you're here, and those of you on social media as well. We're going to start our service right now by singing our opening chant, One Life. We are all connected, a global family. There's no separation, only unity. We are one life. There is one life, only one life. We are one life. There is one life, only one life. We are. We combine our voices, we align our hearts. The power of God's within us, we'll never be apart. We are one life, there is one life, only one life. We are one life, there is one life, only one life. We are one life, there is one life, only one life. We are one life, there is one life, only one life. We are.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, Sam. Thank you so much, and welcome, welcome. A good God morning to everyone. We welcome you here at the sanctuary. We welcome you here online. How blessed we are. So let's just take a breath. That right there, that is the breath of God. Right where we are, God is. God is living us, thinking us, moving us, having its way as us. And as this service, something wonderful is happening because we're open and available to hear the word brought forth by Dr. Sidney, to feel the lyric and the music brought forth by our musicians, and to absolutely embrace each other in such love, in such light that our hearts and our minds are opened, and we are struck with the goodness of God this day. We are absolutely a walking miracle. It is our very nature to be a walking miracle. That's what we are this day as we celebrate together. The life of God is us. The life of God is this community. The life of God is each individual. Wow. That's all I got to say. Wow. So I release this word into the law where it is made manifest, and together we say, and so it is. Amen.
You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. of God. You are the face of God.
Please stand for the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever.
Please remain standing for our congregational song, Amazing Grace. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a soul like me. I once was lost, but now grace appear the hour I first believed. Many troubles, toils, and tears I have already come. Grace that brought me safe thus far, and grace will take me when we've been here 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've known less days to sing God's praise than when we first begun.
Ah, beautiful.
All right.
Have a seat.
Wave to each other.
Say hello. Hello, hello online. Hello in person.
It's just a nice thing to do.
All right, let's center with our high holy self. We're going to take that breath in. Going to let go of any thought before this moment. We're going to allow our entire being to be focused. God is the love that I am. God is the love that I am.
forget who I really am and feel so lost and alone, I turn within and say my prayers to find my way on my own. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, I love you. When I surrender, I feel so blessed. Peace comes over me. I know that God is listening to heal and set me free. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, I love you. Whatever happens in my life, it all depends on me. I let go and let love in. I trust and let it be. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, I love you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Last week we talked about Ho'oponopono, the Hawaiian mystical process and practice of forgiveness and release. And so that was a nod to that, and I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And in that realm of thank you, these things seem to be growing. Seriously, and they're not actually real. Well, I mean, they're real, but they're silk flowers. Kevin, I have to ask a favor of you. Would you do me a favor? Take them off of this big thing and just set them on the ground there. A little music for this, maybe? Thank you. And just put the up on here, on this. So much better. Oh my God, thank you. I felt like Laughing, Henry Gibson, right? I'm going like this. Anyone remember Laughing? Apparently today I'm Sparkle Farkle. So, in that thank you realm, we had a great event on Friday night. So if you were here, if you participated, it was wonderful. But I really want to thank the people who made that happen. We had people who helped with the food, with the wine, with all of that, and helped with all of the setup. So here's a blanket applause to all of you. So grateful. Now, in the fine tradition of this church, I'm obligated to start with a joke or two, because that's what we do. So I was doing some research, and a lot of churches have bulletins, church bulletins, and I found some that I thought we might appreciate. So I just want to give you a few. The sermon this morning, Jesus walks on water. The sermon tonight, searching for Jesus. The peacemaking meeting scheduled for today has been canceled due to a conflict. For those of you who have children and don't know it, we have a nursery downstairs. At the evening service tonight, the sermon topic will be, What is Hell? Come early and listen to our choir practice. The ladies of the church have cast-off clothing of every kind. They may be seen in the basement on Friday afternoon. Okay, we may come back to that later. Depends how the talk goes. All right. So, kicking and screaming down the path of transformation. Anybody resonate with that? Yeah, I do. I do. So here's where I want to begin. And this is from a friend of mine, Richard Lauren Held. When life becomes difficult, next slide actually. Actually, let's go into that. That's kicking and screaming down the path. Okay, then the next slide after that is when life becomes difficult, there is a temptation to retreat, to withhold, to withdraw, to pull back, to protect. But audacious souls aren't forged in the comforts of familiarities. Audacious souls are forged in the fires of vulnerabilities. Let's show the next slide. That's the forging of vulnerabilities. All right. You know, this is the thing. If I have extra time on a Saturday afternoon after I've written my talk, God, you should just keep me away from Google and my computer, because there it is. I'm going to find the images. All right. So here's a shout out to one of my friends, Melissa Felipe, who wrote a song called Kicking and Screaming Down the Path of Transformation. So I just want to give you some of these lyrics to give you a little bit of context. Quote, I used to disown myself. I didn't know I was frightened. I wouldn't let myself be angry. That wasn't enlightened. Then a friend told me to really be free, I've got to be embracing every part of me. So even though sometimes it feels like pulling teeth, I go kicking and screaming down the path of transformation. My higher self and my dark side giving me my information. Learning to love every part of myself, even parts I'd hidden on the highest shelf. Kicking and screaming down the path of transformation, unquote. Okay, so this is all about that. Anyone who's having resistance and you feel like change is going on and you don't like it, this talk is for you. So we're going to lock the doors and you get to hear some of the stuff that that is current for me. Okay, I want to say that the scariest 4 words that you can ever say to someone you're in relationship with or hear from someone you're in relationship with are the words, we need to talk. Casts fear into your hearts, right? They can trigger you on every level, and they usually mean that someone else's change or process is going to shake up your life, right? So about 16 years ago, I woke my husband one night from a deep sleep with the words, we need to talk. Now, the silence in this room. He, of course, reacted the way you think that he would. His face went pale. His eyes got kind of glassy. And I'm sure that for him, time seemed to stand still. But here's the thing. All I wanted to tell him was, because we had recently moved to Oregon from this area, and I woke up and realized that, and this thing had been like emerging and gestating within me, that here we were in the middle of horse country, and that passion that I'd had for horses since I was a little girl had the capacity now to actually manifest a horse. I could actually have this dream. And so it wasn't, honey, we need to talk, there's something really awful going on, and yet my setup absolutely gave him that impression. But it was, honey, I want a horse. Now, those are 5 scary words, by the way. So this was so much better than he might have imagined I could have said. So a horse at that point was kind of an easy get. So note to all of you, if you ever need something, start big and then, zero in granular to the small thing that you really want. And I learned to never use that phrase again, by the way. Well, until I was asked by Dr. Mark and the Board of Trustees if I would consider moving back to Southern California as the assistant minister here. And Charlie actually did sense that one coming, so it didn't shock him as much. My point, and I do have one, is that when we're faced with change that seems to be happening for someone else, we can feel like our lives are about to go crazy. And it's really, really hard. The evolutionary triggers that someone else may be going through are absolutely going to shake and shift us as well. Those predictable, comfortable, and safe perceptions we've been holding and enjoying get blown right out of the water, even if it's just about a horse. And in case you wondered, it's never just about the horse. The horse is a symptom. But there's something else going on. There's a catalyst, there's a cause. The call is to change. The call is for transformation. Next slide. Ernest Holmes, who founded this teaching, said that thing that we look with is the thing we have been looking for. Have you ever heard that? That which we are looking for is what we are looking with. That which we are looking to have in our lives, it's actually there is this thing within us that is calling us to just begin to recognize and admit and acknowledge that it's already present within us so that we can walk into that place of experiencing it. Our tendency is to believe that the dreams that we dream, those inspirations and our holy quests, are about finding or about seeking. But in reality, the big question that we have to ask is to find out what's behind the horse. Wait a minute, what's behind the horse? Well, usually a lot of stuff to clean up. Anyway, sorry, I should have thought that through. But we need to ask what's underneath that desire. What is the emergence that's going on here? What is causing that other thing? What is the idea that we want so badly? What is fueling that call to change? And it's not just the, gosh, why do I want a horse question, but it's the diving into the feelings around that dream, that quest. So, what if, when something is calling you, that thing you want is actually the vehicle to get you on the path of transformation? It's a lovely, beautiful disguise, isn't it? You know, God always has a bigger idea. We might think it's the horse, but the horse leads us into this great growth, this great inspiration, this great transformation. We think it's about the horse. It's not about the horse because there's a greater idea going on. So what I have to ask is what is it that is calling? What is the calling that's gotten my soul's attention? What is the calling that is getting your soul's attention? So in this teaching, this science of mind and spirit, we learn to identify the God qualities within us that are being revealed or are being represented by that horse or that dream or that quest. What are those feelings? What are the qualities that are calling me to let them be revealed and to come forth and live from those feelings and those ideas? And so for me, the God qualities that were represented by the horse dream were a love of nature, a deeper connection with animals, the joy of silent communing with what I had always considered to be amazing and beautiful spirits. I love horses. The pleasure of riding and literally galloping through fields and green forests with friends who also love to ride. Now that was the appearance. That was the attraction. But here's what actually happened. The evolution that horse experienced brought up. The years that followed led me into studying animal communication for a while. I learned therapeutic equine massage. My meditation became deeper, my spiritual study got deeper, and this provided respite for what then became an extended period of pressures of caregiving, first for my brother and then for my mom, as they were both making their transition and moving into their larger lives. I also learned about a form of psychological support that is so wonderful. It works as healing for children, for people who have disabilities, emotional dysfunction. It's called hippotherapy. And it is a wonderful, wonderful process. So my life expanded in great, great ways. So it wasn't just about the horse. And truth be told, there was more than one horse. So, I know, right? Jesus, the master teacher, not the exception, but the great example, our spiritual older brother. The first recorded lesson that he gave is generally not recorded like, he had a crew out there and they had the microphones. But what is relayed is the first thing that he said was supposedly, repent. That's not what he said. Now, the language closest to what Jesus spoke in those days was Aramaic. This good Jewish boy was speaking Aramaic. He probably also knew Greek. And what he said, the word was metanoia. The Greek word is metanoia, and it literally means change your mind. It means change. That's what he said. He didn't say, repent, lament, reform, suffer, regret, do penitence. He didn't say any of that. It was change. Change your thinking. Change your mind. So when we have these times of growth and transformation, the great tendency is absolutely to resist and deny that something big is going on within our souls. We fight it, right? We are kicking and screaming in that experience. So I was talking, of all things, to my hairdresser on Friday, because apparently only her hairdresser knows for sure. But since I hadn't seen her in a while, she had a big event to tell me about. In fact, more than one big event. Her son was about to be a father to a baby boy. And she and her family had, after many years of wanting and trying, finally been able to buy a home. And they were so happy about it. They're so excited. It was the home of their dreams. But the facts now, as they stood, were that they didn't have enough money for a down payment. They couldn't afford anything on the market. And they needed a home that would house, because they all lived together, their grown kids and the new babies that were already running around, another child on the way. Now, Maria and I have permission to tell this because we had so much fun with this story. So they have this big family house. They are a big, wonderful Mexican family, and they are taking care of each other, raising each other, feeding each other, and having just this wonderful extended life. So a property that would serve all of them seemed out of reach. One day, Maria and her husband drove past an open house, and it was in a neighborhood that they really liked. And despite all of the facts, fluid assessment of a current trend, as you remember, that's my definition of the word fact, or my the abbreviation FACT, fluid assessment of a current trend. They stopped and they looked at this open house, and they knew it was their house. Now, there were some big obstacles. Maria prays, so she kept saying, God, if this is our house, show us what to do. Show us what to do. And without going into a long, drawn-out story, here's the deal. The house was on one lot with another undeveloped lot included in the deal. The property had a main house and a guest house, and it had, which was perfect for Maria's daughter and those two little munchkins, a garage, another garage with an automobile lift, for husband to be able to work, and lots of open space. The owner liked Maria and her family. Now, the listed price was way more than they could handle. The house was then appraised at less than the listed price. The owner lowered the price by over $100,000. The owner also, because she really wanted to sell, literally gave Maria and the family the other lot, just included it in the deal. At every step of the way, as the miracle unfolded, everyone in the family was on board, packing boxes, picking out paint colors, getting ready to move. But Maria was kicking and screaming down her path of transformation. Her fears and her doubts were really, really present. This isn't going to happen. It's too good to be true. It's something's going to fall through. Something, God, I know that you want us to have a house, but this can't be right. So, but her prayers continued. Now, there was one day, and they were in escrow, and there was one day when she got out of her car and was in front of the house, and as she stepped out, 2 butterflies flew in front of her, fluttered for a moment, and then flew off. And she said, I don't usually believe in like animal spirits and, mystical things like that, but something told me it was going to be all right. So then I told her, I said, do you know what happens when a caterpillar goes and, before it becomes a butterfly? She said, no, tell me. And I said, and we've talked about this here. Caterpillar creates that cocoon, basically builds itself into a tomb-like structure, right? It's a cave where it is completely, there's no light, there's no phone, there's no internet. This thing is in there, and it completely becomes liquid. Before it becomes a butterfly, it becomes this goo where it's fluid. And who knows what's going to happen. Escrow is goo. If you've ever been in escrow, and sorry, Blair, I know, there are a lot of people here who sell real estate, but that's the thing. Escrow can feel like the goo because you're in this dark thing. And is it a womb or a tomb? Is it a tomb or a womb? But it becomes the womb when it's time for that butterfly to emerge. And here's the thing, too. That butterfly has to kick and scream its way out of it in order to build the muscle, to have the circulation go through those wings. If you help the butterfly get out of that thing, the butterfly will die because it has not yet moved into the full experience or the mental equivalent of the life it's going to live. And this is really, really important. You know, there's an old phrase, God doesn't call the qualified, God qualifies the called. And that is the experience that we go through whenever we are in an experience of, wow, I don't know what this is going to seem like. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm in the dark here. I'm in the dark. And it's just, everything is fluid. Everything's up in the air. It's just goo. What a mess. And yet, once we emerge, we fly. Once we emerge, we fly. And it's not an easy emergence. And if you haven't heard me say this before, I want you to hear me say it now. The thing about God and the way our soul's calling works, when we know that we know that we know, our souls will not be denied. They may be deferred, but they will not be denied. Next slide. A dream deferred is not a dream denied. A delay is not a denial. A delay is not a denial. Now, I know Maria waited years and years before they thought they could have a home of their own. And I have to say, you know, when you realize your kids actually have been listening, it's a little scary because, and I've talked about this, where my son, when he was about 8 years old, we kept saying, Forrest, you got to clean your room. Hey, man, we've been talking to you about this for about 2 weeks. When are you going to clean your room? You got to clean your room. And one day he just looked at me, he said, Mom, a delay is not a denial. He was listening. We're called to have faith. We are called to have faith. And my favorite definition of faith, next slide, please. Faith is the perceiving power of the mind linked with the power to shape substance. It is a magnetic power that draws unto us our heart's desire from the invisible spiritual substance. Now, you and I don't know the how of what's going to happen, but we are clear on the what. We know that maybe our what is a horse. Maybe our what is that we want to feel freer. We want to feel more alive. We want to have a deeper experience with the people we love, a deeper spiritual connection, whatever it is. That's the what. And we get very clear on the what, despite the fear, despite the doubts, despite all of that. The presence of God, the role of God is the how. Yet you and I want to get our bulldozers out and start moving those prayers into place and breaking open the cocoon and all of that stuff. But it takes time. It takes time. So there are a couple of things to know here. Oh, I love that slide. I don't know why I put it in there, but I like it. Faith is the assurance of things hoped for, but things not seen. God does not play favorites. God doesn't play favorites. And God does not make you audition for your good. God doesn't make you audition for your good or for your worthiness. And spiritual law is no respecter of persons. It works when you work it. My friend Maria doesn't go to this church. She goes, in fact, to a pretty traditional evangelical Christian church. But spiritual law works for everybody. It works for everybody. God doesn't have a religion. This presence and power, free from personality, but this presence and power of love is not religion-based. It's very important to know that this is a spirit-based, heart-based idea. So she was using spiritual law and didn't even know it. Her desire was deep. It was deeper than her fears. It was greater than her doubts. Next slide. When we recognize that the infinite presence and power of God is everywhere equally present and is simply doing everything possible to get our attention and to thrive by means of us, we unfold into our own divine magnificence. When we say yes, because this presence is seeking to fulfill us, that's seeking to celebrate by means of us. It's not seeking to passively, aggressively say, okay, well, you know, I auditioned them this week. Should I give them a call back? You know, do I want to bring them back? Were they good enough for this role? Were they good enough for this dream or this desire? It's none of that. It's that we sit in this place and we stand in the recognition, or we sit in the recognition of our own divinity, that we are so fully connected, immersed, and saturated by this presence that we can't help but express it. But we must say yes. We must say yes. So here is your call to action for this week. Because, we want to know, where do we go with this? Where do you guys go with this? Wow, Sydney she had some funny stories about church bulletins, and, it was interesting, but now what? Okay. Ask your soul what it wants. Ask your soul what it wants. And then listen in the silence. This is why we do so much spiritual practice. Prayer it's not so that we can say, God, I need this, this, and this. By Tuesday, this car needs to be blue, and this person needs to drive it, and needs to come and show me, my new partner needs to look like this, and come this way, and love Hawaii, by the way, and have a lot of money. That's not what that is. We sit in the silence so that we might listen to the guidance that will bring us into that place of growing, of stepping into our own magnificence and being the channel, being the vehicle for that great good, that great holy quest, that holy idea that has been seeking us, We think we've been seeking it. It's been seeking us. And then finally, even if you don't get those answers right away, move forward in the ways that will prepare you and will make space in your life. Ernest Holmes called it preparing for the demonstration. In other words, when spirit and our faith and the activity and our belief all come together, we have a demonstration. It might be a demonstration of a richer life. It might be a demonstration of a relationship. It might be a demonstration of greater peace and knowing and wisdom. It might be any of that and so much more, but we have to get ready for it. We got to make space for it. We have to prepare for it. I know that there's an emergence taking place within each of us, and the time is now, here and now, to say yes to that, because, by the way, next slide, it's always about more than the horse. And that's what my horse looked like, by the way. Yeah, that's not the exact horse, but that was my favorite horse. That was Ringo, and Ringo was a Wakalusa. He was very tall, and he was half blind in one eye, which meant he never spooked on that side when we went for trail rides. Everybody else's horse had a nervous breakdown, and Ringo was just, I'm happy, I'm going on, I'm good. Anyway, it's not about the horse. Let's pray. Thank you. All right. So we turn within. Once again, recognizing that we live and move in this infinite presence, this infinite power, this infinite universe of love that seeks to fulfill us, that seeks to create through us and as us. And we, in this moment, choose to know that we are already fully aligned with it, that we are already united with it, and as that, we express all of those same qualities that God is. The love. We are the love. The peace. We are that peace. The wisdom. We are that. The awakening. We are the awakening. So we choose now to recognize that whether we are in what we think is a tomb of goo, or moving into a womb of possibility and emergence, we choose to know that that which is within us is greater than everything else that is going on. That which surrounds us, embraces us, and calls us is greater than everything else that might appear. We celebrate that, and we know absolutely, each and every one of us, I am worthy. I am here as God's divine demonstration, and I say, yes, I am hot stuff and I am ready. I say yes to being lifted and shifted and healed and revealed in the highest ways possible, because nothing and no one can stand in the way of my demonstration, my good, my creativity, and my love, my bliss, even me. So I know this for each of us, that we choose to say yes from the deepest part of our being, and in that we align with the truth of who we already are. We are infinite. We are the magnificence of God. We are that. We are. I am that I am. I am that I am, and I know that for each of us, whether in this room or streaming or anyone on this planet, I know that we are each divine expressions of the infinite power, presence, and love that is God. So I choose to know, too, that we are blessed in this experience of coming together. We bless each other. This church is such a blessing. And we bless all churches, all paths to God, all mosques, all ashrams, all temples, all synagogues, all cathedrals, all places where people gather, knowing that that is where the light shines. It is multiplied. It comes forth as that which needs to come forth for this beautiful, beautiful planet. Knowing that God is not the property of any one religion, we say yes to the spirit of all of it, knowing that it is good. So I know that too, for anyone who might be coming to our mind that needs extra love, might be going through challenges and struggles right now, that they too are embraced in the heart of God. They can never be separate because they are God's beloved child and expression. So we know that for ourselves, we know that for them, and in gratitude, yes, as my dear friend over here said a few weeks ago, betcha by golly, wow, yes, and so it is, and together we say, Amen. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed. This is the time in our service when we invite you to share your tithes, your gifts, your love offerings. And in a moment, our beloved ushers will come forward with the baskets. And so I just want to invite you to take that offering and to hold it to your heart and to say with me these words. From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper. It is evidence of my faith and belief. It does good work in the world and returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is.
I am so blessed.
I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
That was so wonderful. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Yes. Say yes. Life keeps happening every day. Say yes. When opportunities come your way, you can't stop wondering what to say. You never win if you never play. Say yes. There's mink and marigolds right outside, and long white Cadillacs you can ride. There's nothing gained if there's nothing tried. Say yes. Yes. Don't say why. Say why not. What lies beyond what is not. So what? Say yes. Yes. Yes, I will. Yes, I'll take a sip. Yes, I'll touch. Yes, of course. Yes, how nice. Yes, I'd happily. Thank you very much. Yes. Oh, yes. There's lots of chaff, but there's lots of wheat. Say yes. You might get mugged as you cross the street, but on the other hand, you might greet that handsome stranger you long to meet. Say yes, 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 I'll walk, yes, I'll look, yes, I'd love to do such and such. Yes, I'll try, yes, I'll dare, yes, I'll fly, and yes, I'll share, and yes, I am, and yes, I'll be, and yes, I'll go. Oh, yes, 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 yes.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, Susan. Susan Edward Martin, you can find her on all the platforms, Spotify and Apple Music, and check out her stuff. It's just magnificent. Thank you, Sam and Karen, how blessed we are. And thank you, Dr. Sidney. Okay, call to action. We're in, right? We're in. We're in this week, because I don't know about you, but I'm ready for a demonstration. Announcements. Okay, on your bulletin, you'll see how to make donations to our church through our text to give number, QR code, or the website, nhcrs.org/give. And we have prayer with the practitioner after every service, so get your 1-minute miracle. And this service, 9:45 every Sunday, we have our youth program. So bring the nieces, the nephews, the children, the grandchildren, itty-bitties, all the way up to teens. It's a wonderful experience for them. And Wednesday night, we have our fabulous midweek service. It starts with meditation at 6:50. The service starts at 7 p.m. with music and wisdom and a healing prayer. And this week, we have special guests, Reverend Sherry Hersey and Rick Cowling. Their topic is A Spark of Light, Inimitable You. So please join us on Wednesday. And also Wednesday, we're celebrating June birthdays. So if you have a June birthday, there will be cake. And we always like cake. Our health and wellness ministry with practitioner Matt Pleskovic. It meets today at 1 p.m. in the junior church. You're all welcome to that. Also, grief support on Zoom with practitioner Carol Winokur. It's today at 1 p.m. It's on Zoom. The link is on our website. We have prayer shawl ministry with Lisa Barash. It meets today at 1 p.m. It's in the Ernest Holmes room. Ernest Holmes. Okay? Ernest Holmes room. And you know, all these are all opportunities for you to share with your community and just deepen your practice. So we're so grateful for that. And we have some wonderful events coming up. Saturday, June 29th. We're going to have a listening circle with Dr. Sidney. It's an opportunity at 10 a.m. in the morning. It's an opportunity for us to come together, share our concerns, share our goals, share our dreams for this church together. And so it's an opportunity to really let Dr. Sidney know, what's on your mind, girl? June 30th. Sound Bowl Healing Circle with practitioners Sue Webster and Mary Catherine O'Hart. It's at 1:15 to 3:15 here in the sanctuary, and they have a very special note. Please, eat before you come and go to the bathroom, okay? That's the rule, and then we'll start the Sound Bowl. Spiritual practice class with Reverend Christine Pena. It's on Zoom beginning Tuesday, July 16th. It's an 8-week class. It's from 6:30 to 9, and it'll support you in developing your lifetime habits of meditation and spiritual practice and praying for yourself and praying for others. You really are going to enjoy that class. We have Zoom virtual patio before and after Sunday and Wednesday services. Zoom meditation every morning, Monday through Saturday, 7:55 to 8:15 a.m. Anything you need to know about North Hollywood Church It's on the website, nhrcs.org. So go there and peace out.
So I invite you to stand for the benediction, please, and then we'll sing. Oh, and practitioners, why don't you come up forward so we can have prayer with you? All right, I invite you all to go forth out into this world filled with joy, filled with love, filled with the zest of the here and now. I surround each soul here in a protective, divine, spiritual circle of love, of light protection. It is a circle that is impenetrable, invulnerable, invincible. A ring past not. Nothing shall touch us but the direct action of God, and that is love. This is the truth. God knows it. I know it, and I know that I know it. Let's sing. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow. To take each moment, live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. All right. So I want to invite you to repeat after me. I am at home in the heart of God. My life is anchored in truth. I can never be separate. I live in the consciousness of peace. I release all fear. I am living love. Let's go get coffee. Have a great week.